because it was a joke. Roberto Bollis a dancer of Italy. The name is Marco della Vedova.
Okay, we've got a pen somewhere.
Yeah, yesterday someone have done the stupid. Dai, là il capitano. Qua. Chi è il capitano qua? And they put the wrong name. This is number 69. Yep. Marco della Vedova.
Oh, come on. Thanks.
Camera 1 is online.
We on.
How's the ND?
Welcome back to live coverage of Tom's Tourney 2017 here on fanseat.com, the 25th edition of this historic tournament. Joining us now for the other semi-final in the Open division, after we saw MUCC off Mooncatchers 9-8 in a thrilling first encounter. We've got a clash here between two European ultimate powerhouses. Chevron Action Flash from Manchester up against this team we've seen a couple of times already on the stream so far this weekend, Bologna's CUSB Fotta. It's a bit colder today than it has been so far this weekend. Bit of a chill in the air. Slightly changeable wind. When it does blow, it tends to blow towards this camera from the far sideline to the near one. Both teams still deep engaged in conversation in the huddles. Really important game here. These two teams are mainstay at the top of the European ultimate scene. Looking to take momentum from a win here at Tom's Tourney into the rest of the year, into possible qualification for Worlds next year. The Italians making their way towards the left side. So they're going to start by going from left to right on your screen. Yeah, and Chevron indeed walking their way down to the right-hand side. Number 97 for CUSB, Luca Tourney, who we saw have an excellent day yesterday. Looks like he might start here. Although having said that, he's now throwing the disc to Davide Mori. Instantly recognisable figure of the European and worldwide ultimate scene. He's going to pull this to start. Little discussion about how they're going to come out on defence here. The Blondie's known for playing quite a tight, intense, deep style of single coverage on defence. But with a bit of wind in the air, wonder to see if they'll come out in zone. Fotta just splitting the sideline here. Make sure they've got voices at both ends. Dom Dathan with his hand in the air for Chevron signal. They're ready to go. And we are off here. A blading backhand pull to start. Keim finds Dathan with the first throw. He's going to get a lot of time on the disc here. Very comfortable thrower. We've seen him on the GB mix team at the World Championships last year. Fakes behind, makes the upline cut. Disc is sent to Josh Keim, and the disc just falls out of his hand. Was it knocked from behind by the defender running through? Enrico Mastroianni? Seems that it was. No contest on that. Keim with it, backhand force. Disc is swung to Doug Ollie. He puts it deep, looking for the tall, imposing figure of Steve Colthammer. He looks like he boxed out well, but just never really rises to get the disc. Bologna going to have a chance to break to start this game. Moray with the disc is Mastroianni now. Determined look on his face. He's got filled with Santucci. He finds Tognetti in that dump space, and the disc is swung around. Moray with the disc. He looks deep. Doug Ollie looks like he's got position on that. Sorry, my mistake. Steve Dixon with position. Knocking it away for the D. Dathan's going to take it from the front. Chevy with the second chance here. Initiates to Ben Burak. He finds James Mead making the clap catch above his head. Ollie now with the disc. Thrown behind Burak, but he adjusts and makes the catch. Carhan with the disc, another one of these Chevron players who played for GB Mix at Worlds last year. Offloads to Dathan. A nice around break to Steve Dixon. Looks for Keim up line. The defender's all over that though. It's number 19, Cazolo, sees it coming all the way. Lays out to make sure, not going to give Chevron any chance to clean up the trash. He's got that front cone, they're going to centre it to Davide Mori. Big bid from Dixon is just shy of his intended target. Tognetti's going to shoot deep. He's got Dathan in coverage. The Bologna player goes over the top for the grab and the score. Bologna storm the field. They are pumped to start this game. They're going to break the Brits to start. 1-0 to the Italians. Dathan got in front of the receiver and went up for it, but just couldn't quite get enough height on his bid. And Bologna will happily accept the goal for the break. Chevron putting out the same offensive line. Not the most fluid first point from their perspective, but trusting that those are the 7 people that they know are going to be able to get the job done. If you lose faith in your O-line this early on, it can be very difficult to regenerate it in them later on if things get tight. A couple of fresh legs on for defense for the Fotta. Tognetti with the pull. Dathan's going to field this towards the back of his end zone. Nice deep pull there from La Fotta. Mead now for Chevron. Great cut by Burak. Roasting his man deep. Tossi is nowhere nearby. He's going to find Dathan and then gleefully collect the goal again for the comfortable hold for Chevron. Burak absolutely shaking his man out of his boots on the deep cut. Waits for his teammates to back him up. Offloads to Dathan. Works the give-go back for the score. Chevron tying things up at 1 goal apiece. See the flick huck there from James Mead. Nice and out into space. Not too far. Very comfortable for Burak. And then waits for his teammates to back him up. Backhand to Dathan. There's still no one covering Burak. And he follows up for the score. Bologna can come out on offense for the first time this game. Chevron will look to see if they can earn that break back instantly. Jake Aspin on the pull. It's a zonal look here to start with from Chevron. The tall figure of Rollo Sachs-Dixon patrolling the back. Forcing the disc towards that sideline. Fotta seemingly navigating this without any problem. And Chevron transition into a single coverage. Chevron working downfield. Alberto Tourney with the disc now. Back to Nudi. He's going to swing it into middle for Andrea Mastroianni. Looks like there's a pick called downfield. Penny checks it in on the mark. Taking that around forehand. Nice loose mark. Which will give himself more time to react. Just Mastroianni now. He's going to lose yards on that reset. Mine with the disc. Huge bid flying through. He's going to come up just short. A lot of pressure there. Copy with the disc. Going to take the shot to Tonelli. He's going to hammer it towards the end zone for the goal. Nudi, normally we see in the handler set, going up line for the score there. Fotta going into the toolbox early and pulling out the hammer for the goal. 2-1 to the Italians. See him uncork it there. Nice throw, leading him out into space. Not too much on it. Comfortable catch with 2 hands for the goal for Fotta. So everyone once again sending out that same 7 for offense. Got Ben Burak, Josh Kime, Doug Ollie, James Mead, Dom Dathan, Steve Colthammer, Steve Dixon. As you look from left to right. Mead signaling he's ready for the pull. Mead's going to field the pull, centre it to Dathan. Quick backhand to Colthammer. He finds Dathan. It always seems to be free in that handler space. It's upfield to Burak. Finds Kime on that inside-out flick. So there's a call downfield. The disc is going to go back to Burak here. Players reset their previous positions. And play restarts. flippy backhand to Mead. Let's make the catch, a bit of a bump on the mark. Chooses to play through it. Finds Dixon. Burak has it again now. Looking for that flick, is going to take the backhand to Dom Dathan. Siding a low release forehand through to Steve Dixon. He centres to Ollie. Nice little inside flick again. Josh Kime now with the disc. Creative blade over the top, a nice intuitive throw there. Burak loves that, catching it for the score. Chevron evening things up now at 2 goals apiece. Slightly unusual choice of decision for the throw. Don't tend to see those really high blading forehands. It's been quite windy so far today, but that was executed well. We're seeing there, not the most revolutions on that backhand, but James Mead did a good job bringing it in. Nice low release inside from Doug Ollie. Kime thinks about one low release flick and in the end takes that blade over the top. Burak is wide open. Nice way of finding him in between all the intermediate traffic. Putting it over the top for the goal. Two goals all. Tom Martin Hall is going to pull here for Chevron. CUSB have it on this sideline and centre it immediately. This is swung into the middle. Tourney with it, running a little give-go in the handler space. Blading forehand towards that back, towards that break side. Just near the end zone now, Gasparini with it, chooses to centre it. Back to Tourney. Got Fabio Coppi with the disc. Tonelli's seeming to get the disc every other at the moment, really driving this offence forward. Just gone that far sideline. Gonna try and squeeze it in. Maybe not, I don't know if that was the intended target. But good heads-up play from that man at the back of the end zone. Laying out to make the grab. Just regaining the lead here at 3 goals to 2. Seeing it again now. See the thrower lose his balance as he goes for it. All the defenders a bit flat-footed. Nice layout grab for the goal. Chevron trotting out their row line again. Seeing some familiar faces on that D-line as well for CUSB. Tognetti will pull for the Italians. Stepping back, giving himself a chance to take a run up. The Brits ready to go. The soaring ball is going to start inbounds and then just gradually drift out of bounds on this sideline. Don Dathan signals for the brick. Hustling towards the brick mark. Finds Josh Kime on that far side. Steve Dixon with it now. Nice little switch from Chevron. From CUSB instead, rather. Swings it all the way across to Burak. Unmarked. Kime's also unmarked in the centre. Big bit on the mark. Off balance. Dathan has it now. Taking an undershot. Nice around backhand out for Burak. Moray comes up with the mark. Very tight in there. Mead with the disc. Again, losing his balance on the throw, but does manage to get it around to Dathan. Trying to find something down that inside-out channel. It does with that little lefty backhand. Keim will continue it to Mead for the score. Nice spike as well. Slapping that disc away. Chevron clearly amped. 3 goals apiece here. See the little nice high-release lefty backhand down that channel for Josh Keim. And continue it with the backhand, defender at his back. Mead is right at the end and then bang, slapping that disc away. Chevron clearly energised for this one. Just shy of 20 minutes in, tied up at 3 goals all. Because ready to receive the ball, ready to see what Chevron can do. They haven't really been able to generate turns on this Bologna O-line yet. Nudi now with the disc. Finds his man on this near sideline. Sacks Dixonton very close. But it's well caught by Chini. Andrea Mastroianni fakes the deep. Finds Francini underneath. Nice layout. Grab. Doesn't get it. And I think the backup cutter wasn't expecting it to come through, Chini. Chevy with their first break opportunity of the game. Downfield to Nick Williams. Tight contested reset there. Pick downfield though, play's going to stop for a bit while they readjust. Players just resetting, getting back into position. Just going to be checked in from 0. Just in debate about where everyone is. Everyone looks ready to go. Nice little slap of hands. First though is the swing to Mark Penny. Still navigating to rise, but they do get that throw off. Continuing now downfield to Jake Aspin. Ben Weddle now with the disc. Swing it back into the centre. High grab by Williams. On that sideline now with Jake's brother Matt Aspin. Swings off to Penny. Getting close to that end zone. But the window's beginning to close and just there's no one there for the dump except the Fotta player. Mino's going to shoot deep and chase down happily by Michele Angela. Saying it was a miscommunication by Chevron doesn't seem to quite do it justice. There's no one anywhere near him there. Almost seemed like he was just throwing it to the other team. Really unfortunate there for the Brits. But if you make mistakes like that against teams of this quality, they will punish you, and they do so instantly there. Shooting deep with the first throw for the score. Have a look at it now. Well, perhaps expecting a dump cut that doesn't come. And roll curving that forehand deep for the goal. Chevron can't convert their break chance. And CUSB hold at the second time of asking 4 goals to 3 in their favour. Chevron ready to receive. Bologna taking a bit more time over it. Morey with the spin pull. A lot of hang time on that. Bologna chasing that down. They're going to come out in a zone here. Keim swings to Dathan. Storkhan rising, swings it back to Keim. Got Burak on this near side. See Doug Ollie trying to stretch that defender deep. Just going to go back to Kime though, however. No one near him, he's going to check it in on the ground. Hammer over the top to that far side. See Dixon is open in plenty of space. Tognetti's the closest man, but can't close the gap in time. Chevron off to the races now. Dathan breaking around to Mead, taking a deep breath, calming things down. Just looks at that hammer, decides against it. Takes the flick to Burak. Mead now trying to direct traffic. Kime really stretching it onto this sideline. He's going to take the reset to Dathan. Murray on the force. Dathan waits for him to close up before releasing. Kime now with the disc here. See if he can squeeze something through. Does find the inside out through to Dathan. Chevron looking very methodical at the moment. Very keen not to rush things. Dixon again faking the deep and just resetting between the handlers. Very happy to play it back and forth between them. Nice find there though by Mead. Dixon and Dathan run a little give-go. And a brief think about that hammer over the top. Mead's going to take that one though. Colthammer's wide open. Everyone seems to forget about him. Myself included there. And the hammer to Colthammer proves successful. Chevy tying things up at 4 goals apiece here. Can have a look at it. Chevron tees the hammer over to this near side. Maybe drawing defenders up, and Colthammer is completely alone over there. Probably the easiest score he'll ever have. Might have been his first touch that point. But it's an important one. Chevron holding for 4 goals apiece. They were able to get a turn last time on D. And they will need to start generating some more turnovers if they're going to break for the win. Halfway through the time already here. Seems to be flying by 25 minutes gone. Jake Asman's going to pull for Chevron. Backhand fading towards this sideline. It's not quite going to drop in time though. It's going to go out of bounds. Fotta taking it from the brick mark here. It's number 51 jersey of Michele Nudi who's going to take it in. Ben Weddle on the mark. Jack has been dropping off into this lane. Try and clog things downfield. It's Mastroianni now. Burak and Mead crossing over to this D-line here for Chevron. Tight D from Chevy. But quite calmly worked up towards the end zone there by CUSB. Looking for that around backhand. Defense just enough to put it off. There's no one there though. And Cini's going to collect that one in for the score. Chevron defense not proving effective at that point. Fotta able to work it down without too much trouble in the end, regaining the lead at 5-4. And you can see there the defender's trailing behind him. Not even close enough to put a bid on in that. I think he knows that he's not going to get there. All smiles around from the Italians though, taking a 5-4 lead. Again, that same O-line from Chevron. The consistency with that is admirable. They know what their preferred 7 is. They know the personnel they want out there. They're not afraid to keep going back to them. And after that slightly messy first point, this Chevron Island has been incredibly effective. That zone didn't really work last time from Fotta, but we wanted to see if they do go back to it here. More repulls. Just Kaim heads to the end zone to field it. Finds Statham with the first pass. Single coverage this time from the Italians. Low grab. Good hands there from Ben Burak. He finds James Mead. He's got Steve Dixon on this sideline. Shooting for Colthammer in the end zone for his second goal in a row. Nice comfortable hold there for Chevron. No problems at all. Five goals apiece. A pretty rudimentary point there for a Chevron action flash. Not really looking troubled at all. See, Dixon has it on this near sideline. Sees the window he likes. Kramer with a couple of steps. He's really got to laser that one in there to stop the defender closing with the sideline nearby. Well executed though by Dixon. And Colthammer collects comfortably for 5-all. Penny pulling now for Chevron. Oh, and a simple drop from Fotta. Tourney just couldn't quite get his hands around it properly. Maybe not quite at the height he expected. Chevron marching to the disc with a chance at a break, stacking right at the back of the end zone. Isolating some players at the front. Nice help defense though by Fotta. Tom Martin Hall has it now. Big swing all the way to that far sideline for Jake Aspin. Penny has it right on the goal line. Aspin sells his defender on the dump, goes up line. Chevron have broken back, finally avenging that first point. And they've retaken the lead, and in fact taken the lead for the first time ever this game. Leading now 6-5. The first real mistake we've seen there from CUSB. Just a stone cold drop, unfortunately. And there we see Jake Aspin going up line for the score. Chevron doing a very good job of isolating the players they want near the disc at the front of the end zone. Good discipline as well from the others, from the other Chevy teammates, not to get involved and clutter the play. We can see if Chevron can keep that momentum rolling, generate it into another break, or whether the Italians will be able to hold here. You see it so often that it takes teams a while to get a break, and then once they do, they need to get a few in a row. Penny will pull again. A couple of fresh legs on for the Chevron D-line. Pull caught on one knee by Bruno Mine. Zone look this time from Chevron. Fotta trapped in their end zone, little hammer over the top, is going to release it, but another drop, again looking upfield at the next pass before that one was finished. Penny marching towards the disc. Going to isolate 2 men, going to isolate a man at the front. No one back as a dump. Send the front man to the break side. Swinging the disc off to Martin Hall. Faking upfield. Breaking with a low throw around to Matt Aspin for another break. Chevron taking a 7-5 lead now. They are absolutely rocking and rolling here. The Brits in the ascendancy. CUSB looking slightly shell-shocked. They've got to somehow gather themselves before this can really get out of hand. See the hammer there, just doesn't get his hand set properly. Goes for the clap catch, which is not a bad decision, but just hands not quite over each other properly. An unfortunate drop from Fabio Coppi. And then we see there Matt Aspin getting low for the goal for Chevron. As his teammates rush the field. They are hyped right now. Jake Aspin's going to pull here for Chevron. Getting slightly different personnel for this CUSB O-line. Stark contrast to that Chevron O-line, which has had the same 7 on each point. Good hands there from Tagnetti, saving the throw behind him. Starting out in that zone from Chevron and then quickly changing back into single coverage. Bit of a discussion about who was on who, but they do resolve it. Gasparini shoots deep and there's no one there. Another turnover generated by Chevron, and once again it might be more just through another CUSB mistake rather than tight defense, but you put the pressure on, you make people rush throws or rush catches when they think people are there. With just 15 minutes left in the game, a three-point lead could be crucial. The imposing figure of Rollo Sachs-Dixon with the disc there. Dockham rising. Defender on Williams' back. Doesn't matter, plays through a little bit of contact. Ollie Dodd now with the disc. There's a pick in the stack. Looks like a stoppage of some course anyway. Might be an offensive foul on that cut by Rollo Sachs-Dixon actually. Seems to be a little discussion going on over there. We take a look at that last Chevron point again there. And Dodd's going to use Chevron's timeout. It's only that actually use an opportunity to get your offense set properly here. Knowing that a break could effectively kill the game here. Chevron totally in the ascendancy here, looking in absolute control. All of a sudden, Fotta just a bit exasperated almost. Not quite sure what's happening. Timeout might benefit them here, give them a chance to collect themselves, get their heads in gear. Work out what they need to do to wrestle control of this game. Back from the Brits. See Chevron isolating the 7 players on the pitch so they can draw up the play. While their other teammates huddle together, keep warm. The Italians in no hurry, in a hurry to get this timeout over with. They want to get playing again. They want to get back in there, get their teeth stuck in. Dodd walks towards the disc. Chevron choosing to set up their offense here. Spreading man out across the field. Unusual looking structure here, looking like they're isolating 2 people in the middle of the field. Everyone else behind them. Let's look to a breakthrough to Martin Hall here to start. It's almost like it looks a bit like an end zone play. But Dodd is going to say shoot it deep. There's a lot of men under it. A maelstrom of receivers. Sacks Dixon, plucks that one out of the sky. Follows up to Aspen for the goal, but there might be a call on that. Maybe a bit too much contact on the reception. Nice grab by Sacks Dixon. Using his clear size advantage to good use. Tourney's not a small guy, but Sacks Dixon's gonna have that advantage on most people, you'll find. Such a difficult player to mark. The reception will stand, but the continuation won't. Foul call retracted. Bologna flood back to the end zone. He's going to take the simple reset. Good decision. Let the chance to get the end zone offense set. Dub goes to Weddle. Martin Hall now with the disc. Low release, inside out backhand to Jake Aspen. Heads down for Fotta. Feels like this game is going away from them now. Chevron just look dominant at the moment. Taking an 8-5 lead over the Italians. These chants from the CUSB sideline that at one point were absolutely deafening at the start of this game, now all but dying out. They need to try and generate some energy from somewhere. I wouldn't be surprised to see zone come out from this configuration of the Chevron D-line. We did last time we saw a few of these players. Did prove effective, just causing a concentration drop from the Italians. Anyway, that big IO backhand pull going towards the back of the end zone. That is an excellent pull there from Chevron. Looking to clamp down. Single coverage here from the Brits. Mastroianni jinking and jiving in that lane. Reset goes off. Outfield to Gasparini. He's going to put it. Burak's in coverage. Bit of contact on the reception. But it doesn't matter. Giovanni Santucci makes the grab regardless. In the end zone for the hold. At last, 4 points on the bounce there for Chevron before they can finally stop the bleeding. The Italians putting things back now, but they still trail by 8-6. For the first time in a while, we're going to see that familiar 7 of the Chevron O-line. Little flip after the grab. There from Santucci. It's the first time we're going to have seen some of these defensive players as well in a while for Fotta. Putting in a slightly hybrid line, some players we've seen play a lot of offense. Both Mastroiannis are on there. Davide More's come back in. Good pull, an excellent pull by Fotta right at the back of the Chevron end zone. Dathan has it now. Trapped there, finds Colthammer. He's going to launch that deep. There's a huge tip on it. It's actually well read by the defender, making a good adjustment. Number 29, Michele Angela. It's broken around to More. He's going to swing it around to Enrico Mastroianni. Tourney now with the disc. James Mead on the mark. Big bid from Burak. More has one as well. He's going to hammer into the end zone. Oh, just beyond the outstretched arms of Steve Colthammer. He came so close to that, but he couldn't make the play. Santucci gets his second goal in a row, having a good couple of points. Is it Bologna's turn to put a run of breaks together? They've closed the gap now to 8-7. You can see here that big lefty hook from Colthammer. Excellent job by Santucci, earning himself a bit of double happiness there. Getting really big to get that block. So it was tipped. Mopped up at the back by Angela. We see Mori got low to make that grab under a lot of pressure. Good bid from Burak. And then coolly just rifles this hammer into the end zone. Somehow the trajectory arcs it over Colthammer. He's got to be disappointed with that one. You can see the smile all over Santucci's face though. This is an utterly compelling game here on the live stream from the 25th edition of Tom's Tourney. Keim's going to watch that ball go out the back of the end zone. Walk it to the front. So it must have landed in and just slid out the back. It's Mastroianni on the rock here. Discussion about what happened. I think maybe he looked like he was going to take it from the back of the end zone. When the ball runs out of bounds, he do take it from the front. Come with that low release break. Even collects that with two hands. He's got Dixon on that far sideline. Tight, active mark there from Tognetti. Stockholm rising. Dixon shoots deep. And a big bid's going to get the block. Doug Ollie was nearby. But a fantastic play from number 19, Gabriel Cazzola, getting that block. See the disc slightly beyond him, but the presence of mind to do enough to take it away from the receiver. It's a huge bid, absolutely monstrous. Just that the disc is going beyond him. Outstretched arm, getting the D, driving it away from Doug Ollie, who was the waiting receiver. But there might have been a foul on the throw, possibly. Yeah, disc coming back in on 0, as Steve Dixon's indicating, so it must have been a bit of contact on that throw. He finds Mead up line. Disc in his outstretched arm. Looking for Dixon, a couple of people making the same cut. Now Mead's going to shoot deep, but there's no one there. Dixon's the closest player to it, but he's going to sail out the back of the end zone. That turnover will stand, because we'll have a chance to tie it up here with just under 5 minutes left. I'm going to see that huck again. Force laying out to try and stop that first huck. Force laying out to try and stop it. Does look like there might be some contact on there. We can't quite get a clear angle at it. But this did go back. Foul was uncontested. But Chevron couldn't make it at the second attempt. And Davide is shooting it deep. He loves that target of Santucci. He's having an excellent few points. The flick at the front of the end zone for the simple score to Michele Angela. Bologna break again. All of a sudden, after it looked like Chevron were in total control, from out of nowhere, Bologna have wrestled this game back into their hands. The advantage is still with Chevron coming out on offense here, but we are now tied at 8 points apiece. Here we see Davide shooting deep. Part of the reason he's such an effective player to have on the D-line is because, as well as being very good at generating turnovers, he has that shooter's mentality. He's not afraid to take shots. And that can be often more effective on the D-line, where perhaps you're more willing to have those slightly riskier throws in order to generate those momentum-changing plays, as opposed to your O-line, which you tend to prefer to be a bit more conservative. Slightly different looking O-line for the first time this game really from Chevron. Rollo Sachs-Dixon's coming on, where before we had Doug Ollie. Otherwise, it's the same 6 people out there. Andrea Mastroianni is going to pull here for CUSB Fotta. Little spin, ball goes deep. Last time it was very effective, pinned them right at the back of the end zone. Kaim catches it comfortably this time. Backhand goes out to Ben Burak. He's looking at Colt Hammer, doesn't quite like what he sees. Stoppage in play, a foul called, I think. Dathan maybe not quite happy with the level of contact he's getting, trying to make these handler cuts. Andrea Mastroianni is the defender, having a little talk about it. The hooter goes in the distance, indicating this is going to be the last point here. We're in sudden death, ladies and gentlemen. Next goal wins. Morey on the mark here. Burak with the disc, fakes the backhand. Still count rising, high release. A couple of really tall defenders, tall players there. Bologna going to get the D, go for the hammer for the win. Joe Mastroianni makes the grab. CUSB Fotta rush the field. Chevron look absolutely desolate. They can't quite believe it. But good defense from Bologna. The stall count rose. How to put that disc into the sky. A maelstrom of receivers there. Huge mass of humanity. Can have a look at it on the replay. Burak with that high release throw. It's going to swirl in the wind. A couple of really tall players from each side under it. It's just tipped, and a bit unfortunate there, you could say, for Chevron. Just lands in the awaiting arms, right in the basket for Alberto Tonelli. And he's going to not hang about, shooting that hammer deep. And to Mastroianni from the win. We're going to get a second look at it, another look at it here now. You've got the players you want under it for Chevron. You've got Colt Hammer, you've got Dixon, you've got Sachs-Dixon. But none of them can bring it in. It just lands in Tonelli's lap, really. Burak tries to close the gap on Mastroianni, but he can't do it in time. Boxing out, making the grab above his head for the win. What an enthralling contest we've had here between these two European ultimate giants. Comes down to sudden death, but in the end, CUSB Fotta take it over Chevron 9-8.